The Bottom Line, weekdays on LDB TV. Presented by LDB Media Corp. Top of the morning to you all, and thank you for tuning in. If you are listening to audio only or watching by video, welcome to another episode of The Bottom Line. Weekdays, Tuesdays through Fridays on LDB TV on Facebook. You can check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Twitch, and also on the Bottom Line Podcast and LDB Network channels on YouTube. Now, a quick word from our sponsors. When you're at the clothing store and tired of waiting in lines just for 2 to 3 items to pay for, and the lines are packed from the front to the back, then you start to daydream of what you could be doing with your valuable time instead of being there. Then get ready for this time-saving solution and money saver that you have been waiting for. Visit ldb-media-core.myspreadshop.com. Come and visit our spread shop at a discount rate that won't discount your time. That's ldb-media-core.myspreadshop.com. Discounted rates for all men, women, and children. That's again is ldb-media-core.myspreadshop.com. No lines, no hassles. All right. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well and everybody is fine this morning. We are about to get into some great things to talk about. It was a great week, a great time to spend with family, a great time to just relax and get some rest. And I hope you all had a great time with your families. If you have any loved ones that's going through any kind of sickness or any illnesses in their body, we will be praying for them over here at the Bottom Line Podcast. We praying for the nations as we speak. But right now, we are going to get to some good and wholesome news, some sport world news. Let's get it. Welcome to Sports World News. Wow, the NFL was awesome this weekend. It had some great games, man. It came down to the wire, some of the games. On the previous podcast, I had predicted certain scores and certain teams to win. And I'm here to say that my record for week 1 was not that good. I am 9-7. Last night's game, the Ravens and the Raiders. Oh my goodness. What a game. It went to overtime and one crazy play at the end that ended the game. And it was awesome to watch. I watched from beginning to the end. I'm telling you guys, the NFL has come back full force. They allow some of the teams to play, which I hope they did. Will have done in the first week to show where the teams are at, since preseason was a plus for everybody as well. And the fans was packed into the stadiums. I mean, packed. And I'm telling you guys, when I looked at the games from this past weekend, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Where the team's going, man? Where they're going to be headed for the next time? Next week, week 2, it's going to be hype, man, because some teams are playing each other that you're like, wow, what is going on? And then when you look at it like, oh, they playing each other for real? And I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy games, man, because what I picked, man, was, the teams that I picked to win, I'm 9-7. It's not a bad record. It's still a winning record because I'm 2 games over 500 here. So I did a good job, I think, at picking, but the scores was kind of off. But we're going to check the scores and we're going to check the stats of all the games from this past weekend. Monday Night Football was amazing. Before I get started, I did say estimate. I did say if the Patriots go 6-0, or any team that goes undefeated this year, I will give money to charity. So right now, I'm looking at teams right now. I don't know there's going to be an undefeated team because all the teams that played week one was strong. It wasn't terrible games. It wasn't terrible effort. They just put out what they had to put out. That makes sense. They put out what they had to put out. And it was excellent to watch. It was excellent to watch. And it was fun to watch. And football's back, guys. Football's back. Is good to see. And the refs didn't dictate the games with crazy penalties and stuff like that on some plays. Now, some fans might call foul play on some plays. That's not me. But me, I enjoyed every bit of it. I wasn't disappointed. Week one, I was not disappointed. The games was excellent. Some of the games that I did watch, and I couldn't watch all of them, but I watched the ones I could, and I was not disappointed. Now we are going to get to my score prediction that I picked for all the teams. So right now, I was like, man, I was close to some, I was off from some, and that is why I'm going over now, and we're gonna go over. So let's go with the Thursday night football, Bucks and Dallas, Cowboys and the Buccaneers. I picked the Buccaneers, so I got that game right, and the score wasn't that far off. It wasn't that far off. It was far from what I did pick from Dallas, but not far off from the Bucks. I picked 35-14 for that game, but the score was 31-29. So, but still, I still came out winner with that game with the Bucks. So I did predict that one, and I saw that one coming because of who the Bucks are and the quarterback they have behind them. Next game. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I picked Houston, which, I'm 2-0 right now. I'm going down my list. I'm 2-0. I picked Houston. The score, though, kind of evaded me. I picked Houston 21 and Jacksonville 6 because a rookie quarterback coming off the gate. Trevor Lawrence didn't do that bad neither, man. He had 3 interceptions, but 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards passing. So that's pretty a stature for a rookie quarterback just coming out the gate from college. But my score was 21-6, Houston over Jacksonville, but the score that ended up being was 37-21. So I'm still 2-0 for right now. So let's go down to the next game. The next game was the Washington football team in the LA Chargers. Okay, my score was I picked the Chargers, so that I'm 2. Hold up, I'm 2. And matter of fact, I did pick the Chargers. No, I picked Washington. My bad. I picked Washington. That's my fault. So I picked Washington. So now I'm constantly on my record going forward with 3 games in, 2-1. So I'm 2-1 as of right now. Okay, so Washington lost, and I did pick Washington to beat the Chargers, but the score wasn't that bad, so far off. Washington, though, it was reversed though. Chargers ended up having got into the 20s, and then Washington ended up getting to the teens. The score was 28-17, Washington over the Chargers, but I lost that game, so that didn't pan out according to plan. So I'm 2-1 now in my record. Score wasn't so far off, but it's in reverse. Now let's go to the next game. Seahawks and the Colts. Now I chose the Seahawks, which I did choose that, but we're going to go to the next game. I got a list, so I'm going to go down to the list. Let's go to the 49ers. Let's go to the 49ers and the Lions. Okay. I thought it was going to be a defensive game because the Colts had a great defensive team and a great defense, and they're the great defensive team. The 49ers got a stout defense, and I was like, wow, this might be a great game, and I thought it was going to be low scoring, but no, this was actually a high scoring game. I picked the 49ers over the Lions, and so right now I'm 3-1, and my score prediction is totally way off. The score ended up being 49ers 41 in Detroit 33. And I'm like, wow, my goodness, the Lions going out like that. And it was crazy, man. But I still won that game. I picked the 49ers. So I'm 3-1 right now. So let's go to the next game. The Panthers and the Jets. Yeah, the Panthers and the Jets. Now, I picked the Panthers because I support the Panthers. So I picked the Panthers, and my prediction for score, so I'm 4-1 right now. My score prediction was 21 Panthers, 13 Jets. The score wasn't that far off. Panthers had 19 and the Jets has 14. So almost close on that game, real close in that game, because I know how the Panthers play, regardless of what coach and what season, what generation they're playing in. So pretty cool right there. But score that it was close. It was close. 2 points off. So let's go to the next game. The Chiefs and the Browns, which man, that game I wanted the Chiefs to lose badly. Badly. And I did predict a high scoring game. But I picked the Browns. So now I'm 4-2 in my record for week 1. 4-2 right now because the Browns lost. But my score prediction was almost dead on, but in reverse, because I picked the Browns to have 35 and the Chiefs to have 28. But the score ended up being the Chiefs 33 and the Browns 29. So I wasn't that far off of my point prediction on that one, but I lost that game. So I'm 4-2 right now for week 1. So let's move to the Broncos and Jets, which was an awesome game. Teddy Bridgewater, he came up strong and he did his thing. Starting quarterback, man, I'm telling you, I was like, wow. Teddy looks comfortable. He got his team, got a team that believes in him, and he's taking them to the dance, man. They look good. The defense played outstanding as well. So I won that game. So on 4 and matter of fact, no, I picked the Giants. My bad. I picked the Giants. So I lost this game too. So now I'm 4-3 for my record so far. And the points the points that I predicted for this game was not far off neither, but it's in reverse. The Broncos end up having 27, and the Giants have end up having 13. But my point prediction for this game was Giants 24, Broncos 17. So I wasn't wrong with the points, but it's in reverse again. So right now my record is 4-3. So let's go down to Sunday Night Football, which the Bears and the Rams, because we're gonna get to other games. I got my list. This is how I did on the list I got. So I got to go down my list. Okay, the Bears and the Rams. Okay, right now I picked the Bears, and we know that the Bears did not win. And I thought it was gonna be a low scoring game. Could have been. The Bears just stopped performing third quarter to the fourth quarter, and the results is as you see. IL. So right now my record for week 1 going down the list is 4-4. The Bears, I had the Bears 18 over the Rams 13, but that was not the case. The score ended up being 34 Rams over Bears 14. So I'm 4-4 for week 1 right now. So my bad, kind of caught the light. So I'm 4-4 right now for my record. So now we're gonna go to the Seahawks and the Colts. The Seahawks and the Colts end up being a nice turnout, and it was pretty cool. I picked the Seahawks, which I won that game. So now I'm 5-4. So I picked Seahawks over the Colts, 35-21, but the actual score was 28-16. So not too far off, but still I won that game. So I'm 5-4 at the moment. So now the next game, the Eagles and the Falcons. Care less about both of them, but at the same time, hey, the Eagles came and Jalen Hurts, man, put a hurt on the Falcons. I picked the Eagles. My points was the Eagles over the Falcons, 28-24. Right now I'm 6-4. I picked the score was Eagles 28 over the Falcons 24. The Eagles still won that game, but the points, man, when I say man, the Eagles blew them out. The final score ended up being 32-6. Jalen Hurts passed for 264 passes, 3 touchdowns, and 62 rushing yards. That's crazy. That is real crazy. And the Falcons, like they even show up, man. Without Julio Jones, they got no answer. So I know they learned a lesson from that. Moving on to the next game. The Steelers and the Bills. Right now, my record before I get to this game is 6-4. Remember that, guys. 6-4. So not bad. So now we get to the Steelers and the Bills. And I picked, I'm gonna be honest, I picked the Bills. I did pick the Bills. And when I picked the Bills, I was like, they're gonna give them a game. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. They're gonna give them a game and we're gonna see what they could do, what they're going to do. And what they're going to muster up. I thought the Bills were supposed to be the darlings of the AFC East and supposed to be the next. So I'm like, okay, I picked I picked the Bills over the Steelers because they said Ben Roethlisberger was washed up and all that jazz. So I picked the Bills because the Bills looks good. Josh Allen's playing lights out, and Sean McDermott over there is doing his thing with that Stephon Diggs over there. So I picked the Bills just for that reason. And my score prediction was 20-13, Bills over Steelers. That was not the case. The final score ended up being 23-16 Steelers. See, wasn't far off from the score, but it's in reverse once again. So now my record as we stand for week 1 is 6-5. Crazy, right? Real crazy. So let's keep moving. The Vikings and the Bengals. Oh my goodness gracious. I didn't know how I knew how good the Bengals was going to be because of preseason when I watched some of the games, and Joe Burrow, he looks great. So I picked the Bengals over the Vikings, and thank God that I did. And my score that I predicted was Bengals 20 over Vikings 10. But the score ended up being the 24-27. So it was a good game overall, but not close with the score. But with the Bengals, I was, but not with the Vikings, because I didn't think the Vikings ended up putting up many points up because of their performance in preseason, but they did. So right now, I won that game. So 7-5 is my record for week 1 going forward. All righty then. So now, Cardinals and Tennessee. Everybody's eyes was on this game. I'm telling you right now, everybody's eyes on this game because the Titans for the last 2 years was monsters, locomotives, train wreckers. They moving through the NFL like they had no destination besides getting to the Super Bowl, and that was it. Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, man, Tyndale, man, doing what they doing, man, just running through the NFL. They became a threat. Then they traded for Julio Jones, and you thought they're going to be even a bigger threat. Not the case here. All right, the Cardinals. I picked Tennessee to win that game. I did because of that fact what I just said, and I predicted. Matter of fact, no, I didn't. Yeah, matter of fact, I did. I lost this game. The Cardinals. My score was Tennessee. No, hold on. Wait a minute. I gotta make sure. Yeah. I lost that game. I lost. I lost this game, and my point. No, I don't think I lost the game. I picked the Cardinals. I did pick the Cardinals. I don't know, guys. I gotta go back on my list. I'm gonna analyze my list again because something is off. Because no, I picked Tennessee. I picked Tennessee to lose. And no, I picked Tennessee to win, and they lost. That's what my list says. But yeah, they lost. But the score I picked was 30-28. Matter of fact, I think I did not. Something's off here. Let me go back with my list, guys, because I think I just gave myself an unnecessary L, and I got recalculated this my record. So I might have a better record than I thought. Okay, I picked the Cardinals over the Tennessee Titans. That's what I just went back down my list and calculated my list. So I just gave myself a necessary L. So right now I am 8-5. So yeah, that's good right there. Let me change that. I know. I am 8-5. My bad, guys. So I got to change the whole entire record. Okay, but I could calculate it as I go down. So I'm 8-5 right now. So that's good. And I picked the Cardinals, and the score was my prediction score was 30 Cardinals over 28 Tennessee, but the final score was 38-13. So I was right. So I'm 8-5 at this point in time. So that's great. So hey, kudos. Now let's go down to the Pats and the Dolphins. You know how I feel about this game. No Cam Newton. No fireworks. Rookie did okay. Mac Jones did what he had to do, right? But they lost. I picked the Pats if they had Cam Newton, that is. But they didn't have Cam Newton. I picked the Pats to win. I picked the Pats to win if they had Cam Newton the team. And my prediction for this game, my score prediction was 30-21 Pats over the Dolphins. But they didn't have Cam Newton in this game. I also predicted they'd go 6-0 for the first 6 games of the season with Cam Newton starting, but he's no longer on the team. We'll get to that news in a few minutes. So the Pats lost. So I am now 8-6 for the week 1, and the final score was 17-16 Dolphins. So I'm 8-6 right now. So I'm gonna move down. Just go ahead and skip this game and just don't remember this game no more. I'm not Mac Jones basher, but hey, it is what it is. They did good, they played well, but hey, I didn't watch that game, so Cam's not on it, so that's why I didn't watch it. So now to the Packers and the Saints. Now I'm 8-6 right now. So the Packers and the Saints. My goodness gracious. Thank God I picked this, because I picked the Saints over the Packers, because the Packers is not the same. And the score was totally different though, but that I picked versus what the score actually was. It was way off. But I did pick the Saints, and I'm not a Saints fan, but I picked the Saints because Jameis Winston, I know he's gonna be a true quarterback, and he started and he did his thing. 5 touchdowns. Tied a career high. Jameis Wilson. 5 touchdowns. So thank God I picked them. But my score prediction was different. I picked the Saints 28 and the Packers 17 because of the turmoil that the Green Bay's having with Aaron Rodgers. But the score was so much different than that. This final score was 38-3 Saints. That's mind-boggling right now for defending NFC champions to go down like that first game of the season in Lambeau. So tough crowd. So right now I am 9-6. Now, the game from last night, which was amazing. So I am 9-6. And the game from last night, which was amazing, came down to the wire. I watched every bit of it. The Raiders and the Ravens. Normally, I would never go against a Lamar Jackson-led Ravens team, especially with the defense they got. And then also with the addition of the offensive weapons, receivers, and tight end that they acquired too as well. And normally I wouldn't go against him like that. And I wasn't against him like that. I just know who was the better team going in. And I knew that Las Vegas Raiders was the better team for 2 reasons. How they played preseason and John Gruden. And then that quarterback, they got Derek Carr, which he has not disappointed nobody since he was drafted by the Raiders. And then when Aguilar went to New England and all that jazz, I didn't know what kind of weapons they had on offense. I didn't know who they had. I really didn't. I didn't know what the Raiders had. Till last night, I found out. Number 83. My goodness gracious. Number 83 was all over the field, and he's a tight end. A tight end just repping shop. And the Ravens was going back and forth. And I picked the Raiders. My point prediction for that game. I did pick the Raiders, so I'm 10-6. So I'm better than I thought. I thought I was 9-7, but I'm 10-6, so that's great. So everything changed. So changed because of the game I miscalculated with the Cardinals and the Tennessee. Okay, so my goodness gracious. My points prediction was 24-15 Raiders over the Ravens, but the score was totally different, and I wasn't far off from the Raiders. But the thing is, man, it was different. The final score was 33 Raiders, 27 Ravens. Overtime victory. Derek Carr, game-winning 30-yard pass touchdown to Z Jones in overtime, which was amazing. And I'm telling you, this first week was stellar. It was awesome. It was an awesome time to be a football fan, and I appreciate every bit of it, man. And the refs didn't get involved in a lot of things, a lot of fouls and sportsmanlike conduct, little first starts here and there, a lot of penalties with craziness. It hurt some teams. Some teams that wasn't all that disciplined, but I'm telling you right now, woo! First week down, week 2 beginning, come Thursday night, and I'm telling you right now, Bravo, bravo. Awesome first week of football. Awesome first week of football. Awesome first week of football. Anyhow, in other sports news, as you already know from last Friday, Cam Newton, he dropped his little Funky Friday video about his side of the story, getting things off his chest with his father, Cecil Newton Jr., and all of a sudden, senior, excuse me. So all of a sudden, he got it off his chest at his old high school. It was a nice production piece, and he said a lot of things that, a lot of people agree with. I agree with as well. He didn't say nothing bad and bash the Patriots organization. He was just saying that he felt bamboozled, that he felt let go. They gave him permission to go and get a second opinion on his foot. So they told him to go, and then they still released him after that. They said that he did nothing wrong, he didn't violate no protocols, and then let him go. He said on his video that, quote, that he was willing to be a backup with Mike Jones when they told him they're going with Mac Jones. He thought he was going to be the backup. Cool. But he understand why Bill, let him go, because he was going to be a distraction to Matt, because he's a big personality and superstar as a quarterback in the league right now. And he didn't want to put that much, pressure on Mac Jones if he mess up and who he's going to be replaced and stuff like that. I mean, he told the truth about that, and I agree with that. I agree with it. There's nothing wrong with that. And at least he was honest with it. But at least I'm glad he got set to get to tell his side of the story versus the media outlet, in their narrative and how they put in everything, how they put it everything before after he got released. Maybe backtrack. Before he got released, then after he got released. And then he finally came out and spoke on his own terms in his own way, which only Cam Newton know how to do. So I appreciate his video. I appreciate his words. He didn't bash no one. I know his father was digging, but Cam had to tone him down just a little bit in his own way. He know his father. It's great to see them together like that. It was an awesome, awesome video, and it was great to see it. And I'm glad he got this stuff off his chest that the world could hear and see. And I'm looking at the articles behind it. They keep even right now, from yesterday today, asking Belichick about Cam Newton and stuff like that, and Belichick saying the same thing. He has nothing but the most respect for Cam, and it has not changed. He said Cam did everything that he had. So I believe Bill. Bill won't sit there and just lie. I don't know. I'm just gonna say I know he liked Cam Newton since day one. So I appreciate regardless of how the relationship did go and how the terms, it wasn't a bad terms, because anything happens to Matt or Brian Hoyer, regardless, Steedham is still on the injured list. So who are they going to bring in that knew their system already, and they have to retrain somebody to bring that system? No, so Cam Newton still could be that guy. So never know. But at the same time, people speculating that he'll go to Washington. Ron Rivera, it's like they dodging the question. Fitzpatrick went down Sunday with a hip injury, and now you got Heineke coming in, which he's doing his thing, but didn't win the game. So right now, I think we'll see what the Washington football team going to do, and we'll see where Cam Newton ends up and land. But I just appreciate the honesty, though. Rivera, he didn't, because that's his former pupil or quarterback that he had in the former team, and they got a good rapport, good relationship. I think that it would be a conflict of interest. And the reason why I say the conflict of interest right now to put him with Washington, because it's the same system they're using from Carolina. Cam knows it well, but somebody, one article spoke about the relationship with the coaches, because all the coaches from Carolina that was with Rivera regime that got fired with him all went to Washington. So someone asked the question and put out a statement, more putting to the way of a quote, and I like the way they put it. And they said, "What's the relationship with Newton and the coaching staff that was former coaching staff from Carolina now with Washington? What is the relationship that he had with them? Because normally, if you had a great relationship with a quarterback like that, and high remarks that you've given about the quarterback, regardless of coming back from injury, 2 years of injuries and stuff, don't ever count out Cam. And when you do that, but you're hesitant to, recruit him and get him on the team, that is a red flag to me. So when that journalist put that out there, I was like, okay, that makes sense. It does make sense. It does make sense. Why that they're hesitant? This Ron Rivera knows Cam very well. So why is he so hesitant to put him on the roster? It has to do with who Cam is, or behind the scenes drama, or there's something that they know about him and they haven't told the world yet, or they won't tell the world yet. It's just their little coaching secret. Did they leave on bad terms, or is it COVID-19 related once again while him being vaccinated? So it could go both ways. It could go both ways. It could be anything. Right now, COVID-19, unvaccinated players being cut, unvaccinated coaches from college being cut, fired from their jobs. USC coach would just let go because he's unvaccinated. That's his claim. So I'm like, okay, so it has a big factor in sports going forward. So if it's in the NFL, which is NFL has been that first model, like I said a few many segments back, model about the COVID-19 in the policy and being the model of the product of the COVID-19 affecting job statuses for playing football or just any type of job. It's going to be real serious, get real serious later on down the line. So not just for sports, but for life. So, that's just my little spiel on that, because I understand where Bear's coming from. People don't want to get sick. But even people that are or have gotten vaccinated, first boost and the second boost, still got COVID. And there's ones reported that got been fully vaccinated and still died from the vaccination. Not died from the vaccination. That's a misquote. But died from the disease itself, being fully vaccinated. So it's not a safe bet even with the vaccine. So got to put that in perspective as well. So I'm just putting that out there, guys. Everything's going to trickle down to this type of status, not just in football. It's going to be in the NBA. It's going to be in baseball. It's going to be hockey. It's going to be in soccer. It's going to come down the line. And it's already in the civilian sector for the federal arenas. And then it's going to come down to the lower levels, and it's going to be impactful in the country unless something steps up and something changes dramatically that we can do as a whole, as a people, and get better at. But other than that, it's not about COVID-19. It's about NFL. So I had to put that out there. It wouldn't be a podcast if I couldn't talk about it. Roger. So, man, back to the NFL. It was a great week of football. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm a football fan first, and I'm a player, a coach at heart. And I'm a player, but then I am a coach at heart. So I enjoy what I saw. I thought the Giants was going to do some things with Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones kind of seemed scared at sometimes. Mommy Eli Manning just a little bit. Eli Manning on certain times. But don't get me wrong, during preseason and last night. Let me burp. Matter of fact, let me get some water. Get some water. Like I said, even during the game, the preseason games and yesterday, I seen some confidence. I seen some boldness, and it's pretty cool watching that too. Because I think he's starting to get it. It's an urgency. If you ain't performing this second year, second year or third year he's in. I think his second year. Oh, it's his third year. This is third year, I believe. If he's not going to improve or take the team to another level, then guess what? I think his job is in danger, and then you know the truth. His job is in danger if he don't produce, because the next good quarterback come out of college, he might be replaced by and early in the career, and that's crazy. So Daniel Jones got to step up, man. He got to step up for the Giants. I'm just a football fan. Oh, I'm just talking about just being a football fan, talking about every team. I really did thought that the Cleveland Browns was going to beat the Chiefs, man. They had that game won, man. They had that game won. And I still right now is like, why did they didn't win that? How they lost that game? How did they lose that game? How did that game get lost? It's just crazy. It's crazy. Seattle look good. They keep saying let Russ cook and stuff like that. Okay, Russ, that's last year. Still didn't win MVP, but that was still last year. Let Russ cook. He did his thing. Him and DJ Metcalf and Lockett. They dock it. They did what they had to do, and they won that game. So kudos to the Seahawks. But now week two gonna be different. I think week two is going to be it's gonna be different. So right now, I'm gonna go through my list for week two, and then I'm gonna see how close I get on this one. Oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. You know what? I'm gonna record. I'm just gonna record my list right now because I believe this is gonna be good. Gonna be good for the sport. Check this out. All right, we got Thursday night football. The Giants, the G-men versus Washington. Okay, I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick the Giants. You know why? Because I think they're gonna beat Washington. They're gonna beat Washington. The reason why I think they're gonna beat Washington because they didn't do a terrible job on Sunday. They just didn't win the game, and then so many turnovers and mental errors. But Washington football team didn't look that stellar neither. Regardless, Fitzpatrick went out, but Tyler Heineke come in. You know what? I'm still going with the G-man. I'm going with the G-man, and I'm going to give it. I'm going to say 19-17 because that's a rivalry game right there. So it's going to be a rival game. Next game, the next game on the list is Patriots. The Pats versus the Jets. I see. I'm going with the Jets. I'm going to get past the L again. They're going to be 0-2 for the season. Not because no bias. Not because Cam Newton on the team. And not because it's no bias. No bias at all. I just see where it's going. And I'm just gonna give them a 0-2 for right now. I'm gonna pick the Jets, and I'm gonna pick 21. Yeah, 21-20, because it's a rival game. All right, let's move down to the next game: Broncos and the Jaguars. Okay, Teddy Bridgewater looks fantastic. Jags does not. And Urban Meyer is one of my favorite college coaches, now turned NFL. So I'm picking Broncos 35. I'm gonna give Trevor Lawrence 21 points because he got 20 points. Yes, Sunday. So moving on. So I'm giving Broncos the W and Jags the L. But we'll see. Okay, next game. Ooh-wee. 0-1 Dolphins versus 1-0, Dolphins versus 0-1 Bills. This is not a rival game. So all this week is going to be rivals besides the 49ers and the Eagles. But let's get to the Bills and the Dolphins. So Bills, Dolphins. All right, the Fins. All right, Tua. People saying that he didn't have a good outing, but he still won. So I don't understand that logic. So I ain't gonna give the Bills this game because this game they have to win to stay above the rest in the AFC East. And I'm gonna give the Dolphins the L, and it's gonna be a high scoring game, 38-28. But we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna see. Next game on the docket is the Niners, the 49ers, and they're playing the Eagles. And this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. I think I'm going with the Eagles. And the reason why I'm going with the Eagles, because from their performance on Sunday. Yes, they played the Atlanta Dirty Sorry Falcons. Jalen Hurts looks great. He looks comfortable. So, Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, we're going to see what y'all about. And you in Philly. So, I am going to pick the Eagles. W. 49ers get their first L of the season. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to predict this 42-38. But we'll see. As long as I get the W. Now, moving on. The Rams and the Colts. Might be interesting too. To the Rams with Matthew Stafford looks great. Okay, the Colts. Colts didn't play a terrible game, but they lost that game, and the Rams beat the Bears, so I support the Bears too. So, but the Rams look good. The Rams look good. The Rams look good. So I'm going with the Rams. I think it's going to be a true defensive game right here. Finally, you're going to get a true defensive game for both units. But I'm going with the Rams, and it's going to be a high scoring. Well, for the Rams, I see a blowout. No, I don't see no blowout. I think the coach going to bounce back and correct some things. Carson Wentz, if he's playing or not. I didn't know which quarterback was playing for him. I just know the coach was going down. But I'm going to pick the Rams, and the Rams. I say the score for the Rams. 42-24. Rams over the Colts. Moving on. This is fun, guys. This is fun. The Raiders and the Steelers. Now, this is going to be a good game because the Raiders, after last night, Monday Night Football, how they put all the stops out for that team, and the team did not quit, and the Steelers wasn't bad looking neither. I'm going with the Raiders. I'm gonna still keep the Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders. I'm still going with the Raiders because Raiders, they show heart. They had some heart last night. They had some true heart. Steelers had some. So they played well on Sunday too, but they're gonna get the L Sunday. And this game can go both ways. High scoring, be low scoring, depends on the D. I'm going to still pick in the highest. I'm going to put 35-28. It's going to be a nail biter. But Raiders over the Steelers. But they're going to be at Steel Town and wherever they call their stadium, whatever. But I did it for them. Now the next game, Joe Burrows is back. The Bengals got their first W of the season, first game of the season, which is pretty impressive. All right, but they're going against my Bears. So Matt Nagy need to make him this mind up if he's going with Justin Fields, or he going with Andy Dalton, or he going to play a 2-quarterback system and keep it like that. You got to make up your mind because you're going to confuse your team sooner or later. So you got to make up your mind who brings the best value to your team right now. And I say go with Justin Fields. But it's all good. Not saying Andy Dalton don't deserve it. He wanted some because he's a veteran. I told you I would start my veterans over my rookies any day. But Justin Fields, you picked him high, and he got the skill sets that you need to move that ball. And then he looked Cam Newton-ish with that number 1 on his chest, and he is a protege from Cam Newton. So I picked my Bears. Regardless, they didn't play that well. They played okay at times against the Rams. But they should have a better outing with the Bengals. But the Bengals played lights out Sunday. I'm still going to pick my Bears. Loser. Bengals. This game could go either way, man. So I'm going to say 24-17. No, 24-15. Bears over Bengals. Just win, Bears. That's all I need you to do is win. That's all I do is win. My record's right now 10-6. I just need you to win. All right. The Texans and the Browns. Oh my! Now that's gonna be a shootout, and that's a rival game. All right. Week 2 got some fire, man. Week 2 gonna have some fire. Okay, from both production of both teams. Let's go talk about both production from both teams. Texans played well, but look at who they played though. Then Cleveland played phenomenal, but still lost. But they played the AFC champs, and not champs because they ain't go to the Super Bowl, but they played, the Chiefs. Actually, they did go to the Super Bowl. They played the Chiefs, the AFC champs, the Chiefs. So, and they put a darn good game on them. So, Texans look good too because I said it before. They look good during preseason, and they showed out in week 1. Tyrod Taylor doing his thing. glad he got another opportunity for start. And I hope Cam get the same opportunity again too. But Baker Mayfield and the Browns, they look poised to blow out a big time team. I picked the Browns. I'm gonna pick them again. Loser. Texans. And it's another high scoring game. And I'm going ahead and just put it 45-42. Browns over the Texans. Moving along. Okay, the game of all games. The Saints, NFC South clash rivals versus the Panthers. All right, you know that I support the Panthers, but watching the Panthers performance against the Jets, and then the Saints performance against the Packers, it's a rival game, and they know each other. Regardless what coach, what era, they know each other. It's a rival game. I'm gonna pick my Panthers because I never go against my Panthers when they play the Saints. But what will be the score? This is the score. Panthers 30, Saints 27. All right. I don't know. This game can go both ways, but we're going to see. Hope Matt Rule figured things out against Sean Payton. Now, this another rivalry game. Vikings and the Cardinals. Now, we're going to see if game one was a fluke or not. Because the Cardinals, man, was phenomenal, man. Kyle Murray throwing the ball all over the field. Vikings won, Cardinals won. No, Vikings lost, Cardinals won. So I'm going to pick the Cardinals once again because they're looking good. Vikings. Oh, did the Vikings win? Oh, the Vikings. Yeah, Vikings lost. It's the Bengals. So I am going to pick the Cardinals. And the score will be, I'm just going to pick it, 25-21. Cardinals or the Vikings. As long as you get the W, I'm still in the ballpark. All right, let's move along. The Falcons and the Buccaneers. This is going to be a blowout. It's a rival game. So we just going to say this. The NFC South, so I really don't like none of them, especially even with Tom Brady being there. I'm glad Drew Brees gone. So it's a rivalry game, so they could go both ways. But Buccaneers is better than the Falcons right now. So Buccaneers 35-14. The W over the Falcons. Falcons been terrible for centuries. Now, Titans versus the Seahawks. Here we go. I'm picking Seahawks. They're at home. Enough said. 27-19. Seahawks. As long as they get the W, that's all we're ready. I'm waiting on. That's all we need. Now, a few good games right here. Cowboys should have to me personally, Cowboys should have beaten Tampa Bay on Thursday night. But they came out short. But they play. Who they play? Cowboys play the Chargers. And this should be a better opportunity for them to get this off their chest. A win off the chest. Not saying that the Chargers are scrubs, but Justin Herbert, he looking good too. So I'm gonna pick the Cowboys. They're away. And since they're away, I'm gonna be honest right now and be very honest with everything. Cowboys, they're in LA. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be 28-21. Cowboys of the Chargers. Now, Chiefs and Ravens. Let's see what we got here. Chiefs and Ravens. After Monday Night Football last night, the Ravens, man, Lamar Jackson be wanting receivers to throw to. He got them. I'd say weapons to throw to. He got them. Versus his running, and then he got receivers. He got them. But the Chiefs still look formidable, and this is another to me another rivalry. Not a rival game, but a rivalry in the game. But the Chiefs going to win. I say 30-27. It's going to be a close game. 30-28. Chiefs over the Ravens. But if they win, I could take a loss there. All right, now the final game, Monday Night Football, which I don't know, could go anyway. The G-Men, it's like the Green Bay, Green Men. Excuse me, Lions in Green Bay. Excuse me. So after watching Green Bay lay some eggs and then watching the Lions actually play very well, I'm going with the Lions. They look better than Green Bay. They're together. They're playing as a team, and they're playing as a team. And I think they're gonna blow out Green Bay. There's the opportunity to do it. And I think Jeff Goff, he's gonna do his thing, and they're gonna destroy Green Bay. That's another rival game as well. But I see a high scoring game, 28-25. Lions over Green Bay. All right, that is my predictions and list for week 2. So we are going to see what goes down and what happens. And we're going to try our very best and hope everything gets close to the predictions I put out. But as long as they get the W, that actually predictions and the scores. I don't gamble. I ain't doing a point spread. But the scores could be left and right, could be reversed. But as long as that the teams I pick win, and if I have some losses, fine. But I'm going to check my win total for each week, and we'll see where I end up being at the end of the 17 game season. Okay, all right, guys. So that's it for sports world news. It's been a great week of football, and it was awesome to just be a part of it, to watch it. It was no bias, no craziness. It was just football, man, football. So I think week 2 is going to be even better with these rival games, the division games, and it's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. The separation, you're going to start seeing the separation, and this is where the separation starts. And you start being your rival teams and your division teams. Then you start seeing the separation almost to week 8. And then week 8, you start seeing who's really going to make the dance or not. It's no question after that, after week 8. But other than that, man, it could go back and forth. Since 17 games, even a 10 and 16 still make the playoffs this year. So it's going to be exciting to see. As long as that powers that be don't put their hands in the way and let them play football and let them play like they've been doing so far, it's going to be a great season. All right. I think that's enough of my little spiel about the week 1. But week 2 is going to be interesting. You let me know in the comments below and about your predictions, who's going to win what, and just get back with me. And the description of everything that I said at the beginning of the video, the podcast, and is going to be in the descriptions of the podcast. So anytime you want to check these venues out, and plus it got the description for the spreadshop.com, the ldb-media-core.myspreadshop.com. If you want to check it out, you got plenty of items, clothing, everything. You want to check it out? What you need, they got it besides pants. And that's the only thing that lacks is pants. But they got what you need. But all right, guys, this has been the Sports World News, the bottom line. And continue to be safe, continue to be hydrated, and we will chit-chat with you later on today. All right. God bless you. Be safe. Welcome to Sports World News. The Bottom Line, weekdays on LDB TV. Presented by LDB Media Corp.